you ever felt.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Hello guys, it is me, Ashley. I am here with another video, and I want to start by saying I'm so grateful for you guys being here, tuning into my channel and hear what I have to say. My channel is about evolution, healing, self-transformation, and ultimately how to become the best version of yourself as possible. Okay, and today's video is going to be about the power of sexual energy. And I created this video with two questions that we often ask ourselves. And so with these questions, I'm going to provide you the answers to these questions. And the two questions are, one, what happens to you during sexual intercourse? And the second question is, why is it so hard to let go after having or indulging in sexual intercourse? Okay, so we're going to start with what happens to you when you have sexual intercourse. And we're going to start with breaking down the phrase sexual intercourse. Sexual intercourse. This is the course of learning another person through the inside with this act of the emerging of souls. It creates union. You guys are becoming one. Both of you guys' energy submerges and intertwine with each other. All right? So they're gaining your energy and you're gaining their energy. When you have sex with somebody, first of all, sex, the energy of sex, it is the energy of creation. This is the energy that is closest to the God-like energy. Because in order to create life, you have to have that sexual energy. This is the ability to create. All right? As we know, God gives us life. And in order for us to continue giving life, we have to utilize this energy. And when you do this, you guys are opening a portal. And a portal is basically a gate that separates two dimensions. But when a portal is open, each side of the dimension is able to interact. It is able to gain and receive information from both sides. Okay? So this is why it is extremely important to have discernment around who you are choosing to have sexual intercourse with, because you are opening portals when you do this. And so when you are participating in such a powerful, sacred practice, if you don't have discernment around who it is that you are choosing to emerge your energy with, which means you're also receiving their energy, then you could be receiving energy that works against you. And again, sexual energy is the energy of creation. So when you have sex, regardless if you realize it or not, you are creating something. When you open this portal, this transfer of information happens and something gets created. And if there's no discernment around this practice, what you are creating will be things that are not favorable for you. Okay? And so now I'm going to go a bit deeper into this, okay? Because these questions go hand in hand. What happens to you when you have sexual intercourse, and why is it so hard to let go? Because this transfer of energy is so powerful and so potent. So when you have sexual intercourse with somebody, a man releases what is called seminal fluid. And the seminal fluid has different chemicals in it. You have the sperm, which is used to fertilize the egg. But you also have the semen, which releases chemicals into the woman that basically alters her DNA, and it pretty much like makes the DNA lower its defense mechanism. All right. And when you are doing this, it is then creating this emotional transfer of energy into a woman that becomes very unhealthy for her if she is not aware of what is taking place during this transfer of energy. Because what happens is it makes the woman more emotional. It lowers her defense. So now the woman's body will begin to produce this chemical called oxytocin. And oxytocin is the love hormone. Oxytocin is the same hormone that is released when you give birth to a child. It is the energy that happens between the mother and the baby, and it lets each other know that this is love, this is safe, this is, the nurturing energy. So off the rip, when you have sex as a woman, when you have sex with a man, your body is releasing oxytocin, which is then signaling or creating an emotional state and also chemicals that make you love. All right. The woman has chemicals in her, you have this chemical in your vaginal fluids that will make a man addicted. So what both of them do that. Both of them releases dopamines. And so dopamines is the same receptors that, that becomes active when you're doing drugs. It makes you want more of it. So both parties are basically having dopamine released into them. However, the woman receives higher amounts of oxytocin. All right. So if you are having sex with someone whose intentions are not to love you, it is to conquer you, okay, then now you are creating through your DNA a war within your body through this very powerful energy, because you have created a cord to this person. You have bonded yourself to somebody. And if this energy is not taken seriously and carefully into consideration, this is the same energy that causes depression, because you have all of these emotions flowing within you that in turns you are not able to decipher and use in a way that is healthy for you. Right. The whole purpose of sex is to create. All right? It's to create life. And there is a lot of advantages in sexual intercourse. However, we have been, modified in a way where we are using this powerful practice as a way to willingly enslave ourselves and put ourselves in depression, okay? What I mean by that is there is power in this, okay? So if you are in a monogamous marriage and you and this one person are able, because you have different sexual practices, because sexual energy is the energy of manifestation. So you have the ability to create whatever it is that you want through this energy. If you and another person are deeply connected in a very healthy way, you guys become yoga, which is union. Yoga is not something you do. Yoga is something you become. Yoga means union, okay? It means you are becoming one, unified, all right? So during this, there are certain postures, poses, breathing techniques that you do during intercourse, also with intentions, and being able to both focus and visualize on what it is that you guys are desiring to achieve. And through this practice, you guys can give birth to whatever it is that you want. Now, this same energy has been used in a way to make us work against ourselves willingly, because every time you have sex, you are opening this portal. You are giving birth to something every single time you have sex. So if you are not mindful if you're only using sex for pleasure, then sex is for pleasure. But at this point, you guys are learning each other's body, because this is something that is supposed to happen through the act of love. All right, this isn't something that we're supposed to just be doing just for fuck's sake. Okay, this is something that is used to create life. You have a child, all right, that is your seed. The man has the seed, the woman has the soil. They've always told us women, be careful with who you let give you their seeds, but the soil in which a man plant his seed in is just as important as the seeds that we allow into our soil. All right. So the reason why it is so hard to let a person go, especially when a man ejaculates inside of your body, because there is also different strokes that a man can perform that will release these same chemicals into the woman's body and off the rip modify your DNA. And once your DNA has become modified, all right, your DNA is subjected to manifesting or bringing in more experiences that correlates to the DNA that you have in your body. So this is why they are trying to sexualize, us at such a young age, because they're wanting to basically put us in a position to change our DNA willingly by doing these sacred acts and practices without the proper knowledge, so that we can then manifest realities that we do not want for ourselves. All right. So it is very, very, very important to be mindful. So if you are a woman, it is like one of the worst things that you could do is, because men are very intelligent. Like they say, men are dumb. Men are not dumb. The thing is that the men are using the things that the women are supposed to know against us. So men have learned, and what I've noticed is that men, they will become like chameleons, and they will then show up to be whatever it is that they feel like they need to be in that moment to conquer you. All right, because we are taught to go against the laws of nature. In the laws of nature, the man is supposed to show the woman why she should allow for his DNA, his legacy to live on, through him being able to show her that his DNA is worthy, is healthy, it is evolved and intelligent. All right. But in this day and age, we are not giving a damn about the evolution of the man's DNA so that we can be careful about what it is and the type of children that we are choosing to procreate. All right. So, like, at the end of the day, us women, we're going to have to take care of these children. You know, the man, he can go off and do whatever he want to do, and all of the weight will be on you. So if you are not being mindful, you are basically working against yourself through something, so that they make it so pleasurable. They wave it in our face in a way that it allures us. Even because I can speak on this for myself, women, they do things like, because even when us women, we are like going after men that has money, and we then want a man to pay us for sex, because we've come to realize that the men aren't really wanting us in an emotional way. They're seeking to conquer us, and because a man's value increases when he has sex with more women. Each woman that he has sex with, his value increases. Each man that a woman has sex with makes her value decrease. So men are always seeking to increase their value by having more women and more types of women that they can conquer. And so in turn, we have realized that men are seeking to conquer us. And so now we're like, well, if you want to have sex with us, you need to pay us. But that is still operating in masculine energy, because it is the masculine that is seeking money. That is because ultimately we will use our sexual energy as a way to survive. And that is not what sexual energy is for, especially for a woman. Sexual energy is not used for our survival instincts. That is masculine. The masculine is seeking for his DNA, his legacy to survive. We're gonna survive. Women live longer off the rip. We're not worried about survival. But when we are saying, hey, pay me for sex, we are, because we understand that they're seeking to conquer us. And even though they pay us, they're still conquering us. I mean, we got something out of the deal. However, that transfer of energy still happens. And then, like I told you, once you do it, your DNA will then be modified, and you would seek more situations that correlates with your DNA. All right. So, as a woman, I want you ladies to be a lot more mindful of, what you are allowing into your portal. All right. Because the portal opens with you. The portal would not open without the woman, because the woman is the keeper of the portal. You have the portal. Your vagina is the portal. And once you open your portal, you are allowing that transfer of energy to happen. And it would keep us enslaved. And that same sexual energy is the energy that empowers us women. Before the Anunnaki came down, and which is in the story of the Bible, God smashed out the giants and the snakes, the reptilians. All right. The women were the leaders, and the women were in control, in the power. But the planet was more harmonious. The planet was more like, everybody was like brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. It was way more nurturing. The Anunnaki, which was the really tall, stocky, light, white man with the really wool hair. He came down and deemed everything of that nature as evil. So the complete opposite of a white male is not a black male. It is a black woman. All right. And us women were the leaders. It is not for us to submit to men. We are to be soft. However, it was never designed for us to submit to men. All right. Men were designed to submit to us because we are the ones who had emotional intelligence, because that's why men are not that emotional. A woman will put another person's need before her own. A man will not do that. When a majority of the time in this day and age, when men and women have sex with each other, the emotional burden carries more on the woman. All right? That's because men are not that emotional. They are not that intuitive. They don't have the same capabilities that we have. And so that's why it is important as a woman to know who you are and the power that you harness, because the more women that wakes up and connects to themselves and become more aware of who they are, it will then allow the women to become women and the men will start back being men. All right. We have reversed the roles and it is being put in our face in very hypersexual ways where we thinking that we are doing something that is ultimately in our best good, but we are actually working against ourselves as women. It was never designed for a man to be seen as the prize. The woman was always the prize. In nature, you have the male peacocks are the ones with all of the colors, because he is trying to show the woman, look at my DNA. Look at me. Look at how I outshine the next person. I am who you should choose to procreate with. When you are in the wildlife, the men, the masculine is always having to show his worthiness and the dominance and the evolution of his DNA and what makes him worthy enough to be able to procreate. All right? Because in the wild, the feminine don't be going. If you cannot prove yourself, she ain't going. And that's how it is designed for all of us to be. And so I'm going to conclude this video, guys, because I have pretty much given you what is really flowing through my brain, and I will just keep reiterating the same things, and I don't want to do that. All right. So I want you guys to be very mindful, and men as well. It is important for you to be more conscious about these things, because what you are doing is creating more wounded women, more women that are hurting, more women that are battered and traumatized. And then you're trying to figure out why all the women so spiteful, so hateful. Well, because you're creating a war within her, because you're seeking to conquer her. Now her DNA is fighting with each other. Okay. So I love you guys, and I hope this video was helpful. If this video was helpful for you, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.